Oh, I'm trying to explain how to do the bleed. I made a video, but it didn't have damn audio, so maybe this should work. My main character is usually Marauder. I made a warrior last season with Sunder. 100% my ideas. Bleed, for those who don't know, it's mainly all physical, so the more physical damage you have, the harder to bleed with it, etc., etc. I just made a whole bunch of changes, and I jumped my bleed from 1 to 300 to... Can't read shit. Like 5 to... Oh, 1,000. So 900. It's almost 5x it went up. Anyways, so you want to get as much physical damage as you can. So you got uh, chance to inflict ailments, which covers bleed. Then you have bleed chance, just regular bleed chance, and then they've totally revolutionized bleed. Now there's incision, which is 10% per stack. It can go up to 100, so you can have 10 stacks of incision. And that'll be the last part I explained. And then there's blood loss. So now some of the skills consume the blood loss, and any bleeding done to an enemy adds more to the blood loss category, which deals more damage. Like Blood Hunt consumes the blood loss. Herald of Blood. I don't care what anybody says, you gotta put Hameo, whatever the fuck, crystals. You can have up to, I think it's 20, I can't read that. Lord of mercy. But anyway, they pretty much pop all the time if you set this up properly. You don't have to do it the same way I did, but I wanted to run the Huntress, so I'm running all the Huntress bleed stuff. Rake, Herald of Blood, Blood Hunt, and then I really like Whirling Slash, which is what I use. Um, does a lot of damage. But right now, highest freaking damage is Spear Stab, but I don't have the right gear on my passives or anything. I'm 68. Anyways, I use parry because it's just a quick 30x multiplier for projectiles and melees. Um, this is Incision I was telling you about. So magnitude. Magnitude makes bleed hit harder. Higher the magnitude, the more the blood loss, the more the damage on the skills that consume blood loss. I do strength index. There's a bunch of physical over here. There's not that much on the board, but some there. For damage, I always like the higher you specify, the more the damage is going to go up. So for bleed, physical is the closest you could get to bleed damage, other than bleeding magnitude. So it'd go bleed magnitude, physical. Well, I would still say it goes physical first, then bleed magnitude, then stuff like whatever weapon you're using. So one, two-hander, and then if it's attack, spell, whatever. Some more durations, which is key. You want to get as much duration as you can because of this right here. Basically 100% chance to aggravate bleed. Aggravate's pretty much like one of the enemies moving, so it deals 100x bleed damage. From 4 to however long your duration is. And then over here is the 10% chance for all your attacks. So just any attack has a 10% chance to aggravate. Then I got boots on, which also aggravate anybody in my presence. And then another one, ring, increased magnitude of bleed, blah, blah, blah. Then the thing where you run 3 rings, you're going to eventually get the big boost to all the modifiers. 3 charms. I don't care what anybody says either on charms, running 3 charms. If you could get 2 to 300 guard on each one, I think it would be really freaking good. Back to the passive. Physical damage down here and life leech stuff. Which if I ever find any life leech, would be awesome. Down here is probably the most important. Magnitude of elements, high percentages of them, and then the Big Daddy, and the chance to inflict. I just went ahead and grabbed attack damage because of the stun buildup on my Whirling Blade. The stun buildup, put the 500% stun buildup increase every 5th attack on there. So when I do heavy stuns, do a lot of bleed damage. I just got this because I'm gonna ditch it and go put them into something else. Some bleed down here you can get too. That would be really good for Blood Hunt actually. It doesn't actually deal bleed damage, but it consumes the bleed damage. I'm going to get this stuff. This is where it gets real crazy. See if all the other bleed shit I've already talked about. Well, now on crit, there's magnitude on it. So not only getting really high bleed damages with the crit, but now you're getting even more of it. So it's basically a crit on a crit. And then even on this, it's a 20% chance to aggravate when you crit, which would be 100x of your crit. And then there's a decision over here. I want to try to get this maybe by 90 if I'm lucky. But its big thing is that it has a chance to apply all 10 stacks, so 100% chance to inflict. And then here, another aggravate. Anyways, that's how I'm going to do my bleed. And what I was trying to explain the other day, but the audio didn't record. You're gonna have to do some defensive things too, but I usually put most of my defense in my gear. But there was one thing worth. Freak was it? Alright. Stuff like that, that's all really good. For armor, I use that. There's a bunch of used percentages of armor against whatever, and there's also 2 nodes, or a node somewhere where you get like an 80% bonus to the evasion on your chest piece. There's also one for armor. Those are really good to get. Armor ones up here I know for sure. 80% bonus. Is there anything else I need to show? I think that's it. Running blood boils, freaking awesome. And then Herald of Blood, and then the homeo crystals is what I call them. Those are 3 different things that are exploding all over the freaking place all the time. Dancer for defense, Blood Hunt to destroy things. Oh, this is really key. Spear field, I don't know if anybody likes it. I love it. Mainly because it gives me rage. Rage is 30 or 1% damage, and you can get 1% armor per rage, and it goes up to 30. But you can also get more max rage. And RIP gives me remnants of that consume or remnants based off of something with the enemies, and then you get them. It's basically just like a shit ton of healing just going off all the time. And you've got your field of spears on the ground, enemies walk into it, boom, you're getting 30x damage. And boom, you're getting all that health regen. If you can ever find a greater jeweler orb that could really do some cool shit. But, Alright, well, I hope that helped anybody trying to figure out how to do bleed.